Hey, mighty friends, a tender morsel given, yea, by the breeze upon our hearts and upon our minds this day. You have shown great loving kindness to your servant, yea, the beloved, our fathers, according as we each have walked before, yea, each of you in truth and righteousness and uprightness of heart toward you, and you reserve for him this great loving kindness that you have given him a son to sit on his throne, as this day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as just this one day. Let us pray to the everlasting Father, PrAyEr, the everlasting glory of his Son, the first creation, his first Son, not the supplanter, not the one who makes the world go round, but the great temple light that once the Shemir's work is done, the great temple light comes and inspects the work. See if the craftsman's work is worthy of everlasting glory upon the earth. Ye mighty Father, may our eyes and our ears be keen as the golden eagle upon the earth, soaring, looking, yea, feeling his mighty gust upon the wind. Now, Almighty Jehovah, your everlasting glory in our hand, the living word of your Son, faithful and true before all the earth, revealing the four humble, everlasting ones that only he who is within each of us, beckoning this very moment with a yearning, a thrusting forth in your mind forever. That your flame would be extinguished, that you would gaze upon the wick and the Maya it creates upon the end of the flame, and only by the cutting and the pruning of the vine can it be made strong and sure-footed, even dancing at the top of the wall this very day. Yea, let a fat man sing, yea, and a nimble man dance atop the wall. Now, Almighty Jehovah, our God, yea, in the everlasting glory of his Son that built all things, Yehoshua, mighty Father, salvation in the hearts and minds of men. Some mere mortals, others everlasting for all time, yearning for their completeness, even the ones who have came and went, and now look at their hands, the blood, what have they done in this world? What worthiness would be found in the pitcher of water poured freely upon you all to clean your hands and to make yourself ready, a chaste virgin. Do you hear? A chaste virgin. Well, she knows the ways of Mystery Babylon. She knows the wickedness. Yea, she wishes only that the flame would be everlasting, and its fullness, yea, would come in each of us. Yea, mighty Father, let the very crust of the earth yearn for the coming, the second coming of our mighty Father's Son, yea, Yehoshua, the anointed one of the Sabbath day, humble, yea, full of love and grace and mercy for the merciful. Yea, let his wings be spread now and forever. Yea, let his shadow be cast in this broadcast upon us all, that we could be healed. Yea, transfigured, yea, Moses and Elijah upon each side, stand, having done all with us in this moment. Dare to enter in the everlasting moments again and again. Almighty Yeshua, the anointed light within our temple. Yea, the everlasting light that never extinguishes within our hearts and minds. Yea, our love for the Word. Let it meditate in all of our hearts. Let it be thrust into our minds each morning as we rise from our knees in the fourth watch, and give grace and kindness and mercy to all men, and pray for the Queen of Heaven, yea, and her gatekeeper, yea, and the sons of everlasting coming forth, at the Shemeah stones that the everlasting Father whispered upon the hands of his Son and placed upon the hands of the Queen of Heaven, our Queen, the most powerful woman, the most powerful force seen that the eye captain has ever seen, yea, even unseen upon the earth. There is no greater glory than her radiance and magnificence along my side as we together right now over me. Mighty Father, let the little me's know you now, your mysterious ways. Yea, that while the wax is hot, and flowing freely from their ears and from their hearts. Let the smoke from the casting out of their flame be upon their eyes. May the snipping of the scissors upon the wick, that it could be made strong. Yea, mighty Father, let the little children lead each of them in righteousness and truth, with the everlasting Father in their hearts, leading them as their mother's Shemaiah, the mystery of heaven unseen upon the earth. That the hearts of men, their sons and daughters everlasting, can be given a rock that only they know the name written upon it. No man knows when the second coming. He who receives the rock, yea, waits, yea, upon wings of eagles, yea, and soars upon the mountain. The glory of the everlasting Father, may it go out as water covers the emerald ocean. Yea, and the birds cry out in the morning for Leviathan. Yea, that their little children, yea, receive the worms of the wing. Let each mother receive from their father, that they can chew the cud and give it forth to their children. Shemaiah is hidden from sight, worked up and down upon the men they love in a way the carnal mind could never imagine. Now, Almighty Yahovah, our God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David. Yet we are but little children. I do not know how to go out or come in. Your servants is in the midst of your people, which you have chosen, a great people who are too many to be numbered or counted. So give your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, to discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours, mighty Father? Mighty Yahovah answers us all in the living word. 1 Kings 3. Yeah, like a stack of 10 gold coins on a little school table. Yeah, with a big hammer aching for a hickory stick once more. It was pleasing in the sight of mighty Yahovah that Solomon had asked this thing. Thank you, mighty Father, for our queens upon the earth and the princesses. Oh, the mighty little princes, the little babies, the little lambs before the wolves. Yeah. Let Benjamin do his work. Yeah. Mighty Father, thank you for my brother, for without his mighty hand, freely given by his own heart, in service to his brother. Oh, Father, let your fourth watch reign now and forever, yea, in the hearts and minds of anointed men. God said to him, because you have asked this thing, and have not asked for yourself long life, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have you asked for the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself discernment to understand justice. Oh, strengthen us all for your work, mighty Father. Behold, I have done according to your words. Behold, I have given you a wise and discerning heart, so that there has been no one like you before me, nor shall one like you arise after you. Oh, mighty Father, bless our children. Oh, give the Queen of Heaven all the gifts of her hands, by the love and everlasting in my heart upon hers. Yea, that the three of us can be together, now and the ever, now and forever, together, waiting for the second coming of our mighty Father, thrusting in our mercy seat, granting mercy and forgiveness. Upon the merciful and the upright. I have also given you what you have not asked, both riches and honor. Oh, let the children have all their feel, mighty Father, that their hearts and their little chirping minds would be as blazing bits of flint on the tips of their arrows. Yea, flaming arrows of fire, hilted swords scabbarded in glory forever. Yea, that the mystery of heaven that howls at the moon could be heard all around. Yeah, let the fullness and the cresting of the moon and the rising of the redness within it, yea, be in our hearts and minds forever. A Cajun queen and a raging lion, yea, a 2 and a 3, 4, the one, the living word, yea, revealed in the hearts and minds of anointed men. so that there will not be any among the kings like you all your days. If you walk in my ways, keeping my statutes and commandments, as your father David walked, then I will prolong your days. Psalms 91:16 is the faithful witness for all the kings and priests in the order of the Melchizedek. Yea, the King of righteousness on the Sabbath day. Yea, revealed now, hidden like the rock the builders rejected. Yea, upon all the earth. That the rock they hold true, and the name written upon it, no man knows but them and them alone. Then Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the covenant. Oh, the tabernacle of David. The Almighty Father, and offered burnt offerings, and made peace offerings, and made a feast for all his servants. Genesis 41:7, 1 Kings 8:65. Yea, sailing, let's go sailing, sailing. I hear the song, yea, the holy and righteous one of all the earth, the mighty one of Israel, in the hearts and minds of the mothers and the sons, yea, in the hovering of their fathers. Yea, let their hovering begin this day. Let the sun be raised everlasting, two as one, in the hovering of the mind of each willing vessel. Let a three-bound cord, together by the sun of everlasting, yea, like a beam of light forever cast forth from the sun. Then two women who were harlots came to the king and stood before him. The one woman said, "O my lord, this woman and I live in the same house, and I gave birth to a child while she in the house. It happened on the third day after I gave birth that this woman also gave birth to a child. And we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, only the two of us in the house. This woman's son died in the night because she lay on it. So she arose in the middle of the night and took my son from beside me while your maidservant slept, and laid him in her bosom, and laid her dead son in my bosom. When I rose in the morning to nurse my son, behold, he was dead. But when I looked at him carefully in the morning, behold, he was not my son, whom I had borne through my womb. Yea. Then the other woman said, No, for the living one is my son, and the dead one is your son. But the first woman said, No, for the dead one is your son, and the living one is my son. Thus they spoke before the king. Then the king said, The one says, This is my son who is living, and your son is the dead one. And the other says, No, for your son is the dead one, and my son is the living one. The king said, Get me a sword. So they brought a sword before the king. The king said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to one, and half unto the other. Then the woman whose child the living one spoke to the king, for she was deeply stirred over her son, and said, O my lord, give her the living child, and by no means kill it. But the other said, He shall be neither mine nor yours. Divide. Then the king said, Give the first woman the living child, and by no means kill him. He is his mother. Yea, she, can see her love within this child. She is his mother. Yea, she is in him as he is in her, as they are both in us. When all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had handed down, they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to administer righteousness, truth, and everlasting justice upon the earth. A gentleness like a lamb dancing before the lion at the top of the hill. Yea, let us go at the Father's perfect time and our Queen's word unto the Ramsey road. Yea, and take a short little journey with our brothers of everlasting time, that the golden eagle can take flight from atop the mountain and have his roosting place. Yea, beside a view like eyes the whole earth in a way unimaginable to the carnal mind, that they may see the key, but never find, yea, the lock in which to put it into. Yea, mighty Daniel, yea, my son, may your ribbon be tied around your horns. Yea, as it was long ago that you could stand forever before the kings of the earth. That upon your return from the wilderness of fear and trembling and forgiveness and repentance, and drinking only water distilled from heaven by each drop, that after the word having filled your heart and mind, placing your hands, calling for the Shamir, your loving mother's palms upon your hands, that the water would be the washing of the word each day for 40 days and 40 nights. Yea, that the trumpet would sound. Yea, and the 10 days of awe would begin. Yea, that the tabernacle service would begin in the hearts and minds of anointed men. And by their honored service, yea, by the hovering over the word of everlasting in their hearts, let them thrust forth a blood covenant with their precious queen, and let them live and love together, yea, together forever in paradise, with the word revealed in the mystery before the blindness of all the earth. Yea, that the band like no other would begin to sing. Your work this day, your perfect work, is to build the tabernacle of the beloved within your heart, within your mind this very day. And prepare a place for all of them. For in my Father's house there are many mansions. Yea, let it be so for all our fathers and our mothers. Yea, the Shamir stones placed in our hands and freely given to the queens of heaven. Yea, let each king upon the earth rejoice in his kingdom. Yea, the everlasting Father's wisdom, yea, would fall as winter and the leaves, yea, of the trees, yea, the living tree of life forever are given for the healing of the nations. And then they fall upon the earth and renew the soil. That the seed, once the ground has been plowed, planted, and rained on by the clouds, that its harvest would be abundant, and all the fowl of the air would come and roost upon its branches. Yea, let each anointed son of everlasting go and shoe the soles of their feet from the everlasting tree they were birthed from. Yea, that they would know their days are few, unless they come repenting in these days ahead. There is no hope for them, but their sons could glory before them and melt their hearts and be the beloved son in the tabernacle of David, and come forth as Solomon, a wisest son of all, and rebuild with unhewn stone in his father's heart a dwelling place for the fire of his mother that loves him more, than a widow's mite of a carnal mind could ever understand. It would be like a buffalo soldier's horns on one side locked, with the horns locked upon the other. Two heads that could never part, bound together by the mighty Father. That their blood spilled upon the earth, would be as a merciful hand upon the land. That the fish would find the tax money in the fish's mouth, and that all the Queen of Heaven would ever desire from her King, that she alone, with her love within her heart, freely given by him, the shamir stones, freely given, at the mercy seat, and the gate, that door would be rightened in its swing. May only the right hands of everlasting grab hold of the gate and the door within the tabernacle of David. Almighty Father, reveal the tabernacle of David in our hearts by the flaming fire upon our Father's heart. That the yearning and the everlasting mercy upon it, the shemirs given the sons could, their right hands could set their father's balance and their mother's love, the shamir in her left hand upon his heart. That they, father and son, mother, father and son, would be moving, revolving, spinning right again. Father, mother, son, son, father, mother, 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 son. Zadaka, that unseen force upon the earth that makes the world go round and round. So this is your work. This is your Zadaka to place in the narrow way this very day. Put your love and your everlasting desire upon the words. In worlds beyond those the Father has read before us this day. that you would find the mystery of heaven after the everlasting Father's point was found in 1 Kings 4. Yeah, the combination of everlasting and of anointed mind that goes on forever, like the mind of an anointed son. Yeah, and Elijah hovering for the lust of the world would be as dried leaves upon the earth. As each treasured soul, yea, transfigured in the twinkling of an eye, this very day, upon all the hearts and minds that gave everything upon the altar. Yea, that Elijah would appear at their circumcision, and that their sweet queen would throw their flesh upon the fire of unhewn stones, and that her burning, yea, could only be quenched by the raising of the vine, that the valley would be raised on high, and the mountain would be cast into the sea. For if a man says to this mountain, be removed and cast into the emerald ocean, it would be done for him if he does not doubt it in his heart. Yea, a perfect faith in a world the carnal mind's imagination wars with continually and teaches its downtrodden nature, its brokenheartedness, its thrusting day and night. Yes, but blood on the earth, and the Father calls out to them all from the garden, where are the able seamen daring to enter in ways of everlasting, yea, everlasting moments with our Father and his Son, the King of righteousness. Again and again, men of renown, men like no other have ever been or will ever be, for this is the everlasting glory, the living word in the hearts and minds of mortal men who humble themselves with prayer and trembling and fear, to fear mighty Jehovah. Understand this, mighty friend, to fear the everlasting Son, freely given by the Father upon every righteous man's heart and mind, and scepter in his right hand, to sit with his queen along his right-hand side, yea, and his brother upon his left. Now each and every one of us, two as one in the tabernacle of David, rejoicing with the Father of everlasting moments as we walk gently and tenderly down the way, each of us revealing not our heart or not our time, the mysterious way of the Father and his perfect moments. Yea, the word that judges a man's heart. Yea, and sends him out into the field as a wild beast. Yea, beasts of burden. Yea, that slumber and rest with a peace beyond all understanding on the Sabbath day of rest. Yea, let us put these words, let us put these thrusts in our mind, holy, righteous, everlasting hope of glory upon the sons coming forth. Let their fathers hover with the spirit of Elijah at the mighty Father, Yahovah, at his perfect time and no other. Yea, do you hear? Even all the ship be filled. Yea, the darkness and the light. Yea, wings of eagles. That the unclean things of the earth would fear and tremble at the sound of mighty Father's voice within us. Yea, may he come forth in each of us with great mercy, humble in his truth forever upon the earth. For only in his weakness can each of us be made strong. We only have to have the faith of a mustard seed, and I place it upon your ground and pray to the everlasting Father, mighty Yahovah, not that we might receive a feastful lot from the field. Never. Stand in a column of salt, turning back her ways. Salt standing, yea, her wickedness revealed as the wind blows the salt upon the ocean and off the dust of the earth. Let each humble, righteous man receive the living word in his heart and mind. Let him study 3.1 4:1-5. Yea, 2 as 1. Yea, that 6 would make everything all right. And the 7, yea, Hiram's work, yea, hidden deep inside. 8, yea, an everlasting new beginning in the hearts and minds of mere mortals, that they could become everlasting, humble in their truth, like the King of everlasting, Yehoshua, the Son of everlasting moments in our hearts and minds. Yea, number 9. The 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 number 9. Do you hear? Shema Israel. Ye are those dreadlocks, deadbolts, or black locks along your side. Hear the everlasting Father in the tabernacle of the beloved. Yea, that all the earth would marvel this day. And then let our Queen be revealed. Yea, one on a 10 power. Yea. Yea, let 11 never be upon us. Yea, let us turn to Psalms 110, and let us receive deliverance in our heart and in our minds and in the tabernacle once more. The harp, yea, stood up alongside in the glory studio. Yea, the Father said yesterday upon our hearts, start tuning. Yeah, fOR. Do you hear? Tune your harp. Yeah. That our current kings upon the earth can be that their spirits within them could find some peace with the notes from our fingertips. Yea, the fingertips of the sons of love for their fathers. Yea, even when their father's hand is placed in theirs, they would not remove it, unless he be evil and unworthy, not by his own judgment, but by the Father, yea, and the love his Son has for his Father, does he do his perfect work at his perfect time. Let us go sailing, mighty friends. Psalms 110. What do you have for us there, mighty Father? Yea. We are today in the New American Standard, but soon the Israel Bible will be in the palms of all of our hands, and we can see and taste that the Lord everlasting is good. The sweetness of his vine is like no other upon the earth. A psalm for the beloved. Psalm 110. Mighty Jehovah gives dominion to the king. Mighty Jehovah says to our Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Mighty Jehovah will stretch forth your strong scepter from Zion, saying, rule in the midst of your enemies. Psalms 45:6 is our faithful witness. Your people will volunteer freely in the day of your power, in holy array from the womb of the dawn. Your youth are to you the dew. Mighty Jehovah has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever, according to the order of the Melchizedek, the King of righteousness, a Hebrew PI, now and forever, reigning from heaven above. The Lord is at your right hand. He will shatter kings in the day of his wrath. He will judge among the nations. He will fill with corpses. He will shatter the chief men over a broad country. He will drink from the brook by the wayside. Therefore, he will lift up head. Judges 7:5-6, for the faithful second and third witnesses to read in everlasting glory. Let the hulls of the mustard seed fall upon good soil, and let the death of that little seed bring forth living, a tree of living, of a living word rising from the palms of a man's hand every morning, giving his love, his queen, his love to her in the tabernacle of David. Oh, Father, let us commune with our bride, the queen of all the earth, this day in the tabernacle of David. And the kitty would purr, and the kittens would lay in the green grass and feel the tender dew upon their lips and the gentle breeze across their everlasting minds, filled with hope as their mother, the Queen of Heaven, is now filled with hope and light and everlasting, like no other queen has ever been, is now, or ever will be upon the earth again. For this is an everlasting moment for 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as just this one day with my queen. I love her so much. Oh, love your queen. with the everlasting love of the Son's blood in your heart, thrusting forth only in the tabernacle of David with your beloved for now and all time.